Welcome to the inaugural installment of Jeff Falk Sports Talk, brought to you by Lebanon Sports Buzz and Lebanon Advertising and Marketing. Tonight we have a very special guest, new Cedar Crest head football coach Rob Wildasin. Welcome, Coach. How are things going for you?
Great, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you having me on in your first show, and hopefully a few years from now we can look back and laugh about how successful your program's been, and hopefully my program as well.
Hey, that's a great way to start. Hey, Coach, do me a favor. When you first heard that Coach Warren Avage was stepping down, I guess it was probably not too long after the season. But tell me just kind of your initial reactions when you heard about Coach Coach Warren Avage stepping down.
Yeah, he stepped down in November, and we were just at the beginning of basketball season as an assistant. I was doing the basketball practice, and I went into the locker room with Coach Custer and Coach Smith, who are also, the basketball coaches. And we had been emailing back and forth, and I think I walked into the locker room and I said to them, I think 26 and 74 over the past 10 seasons here at Cedar Crest, and going on their third coach. And I said, you know what's crazy? And they just kind of looked at me, and I said, I know we can win here. I still know we can win here. And they said, and they agreed. They were like, we can definitely win here.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my approach. Was I have to take a shot at this. I got to put my name in the hat, and hopefully, if I get a chance, I know we can win at Cedar Crest. And that's why I was excited to have an opportunity to apply for the job and to interview for the job, and then eventually get the job.
Yeah, that's a great story too, Coach. And I've been pretty vocal in the fact that I really was looking for a local guy. Obviously you fit the bill. Coach Robinson and Coach Warren Avage, it just didn't kind of work out for those guys. I just thought a new approach, a good approach, would be to have somebody local come in. I'm not sure if that's was important to the administration or if that was important to you, but it seemed to be important to me. But hey, Coach, tell me just how did the process go for you? Tell me about the process and the interview. And did you feel like you nailed it when you were there at the interview?
After I interviewed, I'll give you to kind of go backwards here a little bit. After I interviewed, I met with the administration then the next day, and they said, this Malinowski, the principal, said, how do you think you did last night? And I said, I think I did great. I said, I couldn't have been more prepared than I was. And a lot of that is because, once I decided that I was going to apply, and I went home and again and talked to my wife, and she said, absolutely, let's do it. And because I do think it's a team effort, my wife has supported me along the way, and she was like, absolutely, you have to apply. So as soon as I decided I was going to apply, again, it was kind of an all-in approach, and I spent a lot of time. It was a long time between the time I decided to apply, which was the beginning of December, all the way until I interviewed, which was middle to the end of January. So I had a lot of time. It gave me enough time to really pull all my thoughts and all of my materials together and prepare as best as I could. I don't think there's any website that exists about questions you'll see here in a coaching interview that I didn't prepare for. I mean, I searched them all, I answered them all, and I felt like I was really ready to go. And then in the interview process, again, I had prior relationships with a lot of people at Cedar Crest, which I think helps because, for them, it was more maybe a question of, not a question of, is this guy a good person? Is he, somebody? They knew what I was like as a coach. They had enough experience seeing me coach basketball. It was more of a question probably for them of, can this guy lead our program in the right direction? Can he be a leader of a program? And apparently they felt like they heard enough to say, yeah, he can do that. So that's kind of how it all unfolded.
Yeah, Coach, I would say you're young for a position like this. I'm not saying too young, but maybe they had some concerns being, you're 34. I think the fact that you worked in the school district, that certainly helped. What I guess what I heard from Coach Snyder was there was 20 applicants for the job too. So I think some congratulations are in order. And you talked about being prepared, and maybe you were prepared for that interview, but I think that you've kind of been preparing for this maybe since you get out of high school, out of college.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and that's the thing people keep saying. And I do think it's awesome. People say, look, you're head football coach at a quad A school. Yeah, I struggled a little bit, but you're there, and you're only 34 years old. And if you'd have told me that when I was 22 graduating college, deciding that I wanted to get into coaching, that, hey, Wildasin, you're going to have to go you're going to have to be hard for 12 years, and you'll get to the point, you're going to be there. At 34, you'll be head coach. I'd have been like, great, that's an awesome accomplishment. And I do feel like it's an awesome accomplishment. But, man, I've been on a lot of bus rides. It's been a lot of work, and I've been in a lot of meetings. I've been in a lot of time. And I think there's a lot of coaches out there, that are probably listening to this that can certainly relate to those experiences, the
Sure.
late night bus rides. And again, with football and basketball, doing two sports, again, I think there was enough on the table for the administration to see, that it maybe feel like they had enough of a sampling there to know, again, what I'd be like as a coach. It was just more a matter of, can I lead a program?
Right. Yeah. Some of the things you're talking about too, Coach, is just time, just putting in time, and obviously you're learning during that time, but a lot of it is just time. Coach, I want to ask you about the program. You know how high school football is, especially in this area. It's very outcome based. People want to know about wins and losses. They don't care too much about those other things. But tell me a little bit about the program, where you see the program is at Cedar Crest right now, and where do you guys need to get better?
The program is definitely down. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. Again, you haven't had a winning season since, and you can probably correct me, somewhere around 2002.
That sounds about right.
2004, I believe was the last time we had a winning season. I don't know if you have the numbers there for me. But, we're down. We're definitely down. But again, I see it as more of a restoration process.
Right. Right.
It's a program that can win and has won in the past. If you look at the history of the program, from the time that, they had the first football team till 2000 and now the 13th season, it's really only a 10-year stretch, 2003 to 2013, where they didn't succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And they really weren't even what I would call, competitive. And so, in my opinion, again, if that's the outlier, and what I need to do, it's my job to bring us back and restore the program back to what it was. And the first thing that I, again, really, really focusing on, number one thing was getting kids back into the program. I can tell you for a fact there's kids walking around the halls of Cedar Crest that aren't playing football, that need to play football.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have any success at Cedar Crest High School, it's going to be because of them. It's not going to be because of anything I do. It's going to be because of my ability to get them back out into the program to feel like they want to be a part of it. And that's step number one. And really every other step is much, much more distant than that. And then from there, just, I've been trying to hire the best staff that I can, which hopefully the board will be able to vote on here in the next week.
Okay.
And really, put together a great staff that the kids will really, kind of bond to, and I think everything will take off from there.
Yeah, Coach, I think you hit on a good point. Obviously, the program needs to improve, but I don't think it's like you have to tear it down and build back up. I mean, there is some pieces kind of in place there, and so I think that's important. I think that's a great point that you made. How about some goals for the program, Coach? And then let's not talk about this year. Let's just forget about this year coming up just for a second. But where would you like to see the program eventually get to, and how long will it take to get it there?
I'm sorry to do this to you, Jeff, but I'm going to this year. I just
okay.
don't think in terms of, and again, maybe I know this is probably in some ways a cliche, but I don't think like that. I want to be in the district playoffs this season, and I'm telling you, if you ask me publicly or privately after this season is over, if we miss the district playoffs, hey, you went 4-6, or you went 3-7, you beat some good teams, but you missed the playoffs. Are you satisfied? You feel like you're going in the right direction? I mean, I'll probably maybe feel like I'm going in the right direction, but I'm not going to be happy. I can tell you that's just the way I function.
Right.
I expect to win. I expect to win every game. And I was just in a seniors versus faculty game last night at Cedar Crest High School, and I think the kids will tell you that I played to win. That's just the way I function. And I don't know any other way. So I'm not looking at long term. Well, here's year 1, year 2, and year 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't think like that. I've heard other guys talk like that. One of the guys, Rich Rodriguez, I know, I always quote him with Coach Smith in the basketball program, and it kind of fit us, to be honest. He said, Rich Rodriguez said, in year 1, here's how you know where your program is. He said, in year 1, you get blown out. In year 2, you you lose close. In year 3, you win close, and then year 4, you win big.
Right.
And again, now, does that mean I think that we're going to get blown out this year? No. I look at our talent, and I don't. I don't think we're. I think anything other than very competitive games from us is again unacceptable, and that's on me. So I'm expecting to be successful right away, and again, that's just I don't know, crazy talk or wishful thinking or whatever you want to call it, but that's the way I think.
Well, at least you're honest with me, Coach. Hey, Coach, we have to take a break. Hope you'll hang out with us a little bit. We'll be right back with Coach Rob Wildasin after we take care of some business. This portion of Jeff Falk's Sports Talk has been brought to you by RJ Sells Towing and Recovery, downtown Lebanon, 272-7938. Click Lewis Auto Dealership, 720 East Main Street in Palmyra, 838-1353. And Melnick, Moffitt, and Maceros, ENT Associates, 927 Russell Drive, Lebanon, 274-9775. Welcome back. We're here visiting with Rob Wildasin. Rob became the new head football coach at Cedar Crest on February 11th. Rob, that's month and a half. Tell me kind of what this last month and a half has been like for you, and has it sunk in that you're the head football coach at Cedar Crest?
No, it hasn't sunk in. Every time I write an email, I have to type my head football coach thing at the bottom. It's I kind of usually shake my head at myself like that just doesn't even look right. But I've been, my wife will tell you, I've been in a lot of meetings. From anything from trying to figure out what coaching shirt I want to buy to trying to put together a great staff from the 7th grade all the way through the varsity. So it's been very, very busy. A lot of meetings, a lot of just trying to again get things done again in a compressed time. These are things that I probably would have done or will do next year. In December and December and January and February. I'm doing it all again in a month and a half. So just trying to get ready for the summer.
Hey, Coach, I think you touched on this a little bit before, but tell me in your mind how competitive is Class Quad A football in this area and in Section 1 of the Lancaster Lebanon League? How competitive is this?
I think it's very good. Again, you're looking at Lower Dolphin, was able to go on as a Quad A school that we played against last year and we're going to play against this year and win the districts. You're going to play a team like Wilson that's, you throw their name out, and if they won the state title any year, nobody would be shocked. So they're competing for district titles and state titles every single year.
Right.
You've got a program like Penn Manor where I think Coach Mealy's just got those guys. There's a model to follow. Again, there's a program that was the doormat of the league and is now, again, number 2 or number 3 in the league, maybe right behind Wilson every year, and again, at least competing with Wilson. So it's very competitive. And as again, I think one of the things that we have to realize at Cedar Crest is we're a small Quad A school, and one of the things that I think my background helps with being at Anvil Cleona, where we were truly a small school. But one of the things we knew was we couldn't miss on athletes. We needed to get kids out for the program to be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And at Cedar Crest, it's the exact same thing. We are a small Quad A school. When you look at the class rankings page on the PIAA website, the class sizes, Cedar Crest is at least 3/4 of the way down the Quad A page.
Right.
So we got to act like we're a small school and really get every kid out. We can't afford to, again, like I said, have kids that just aren't playing football. So again, that's where it stands. It's very competitive, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Coach, I think I asked you this question before, and something that I really believe truly too. What I'm going to ask you is there pressure to win at Cedar Crest, and I think that there is, and I don't think there's too many jobs in the county that there's actually pressure to win. But I think it's true at Cedar Crest with the football program. Do you feel any of that pressure? Do you put pressure on yourself? Do the kids put pressure on yourself? Tell me about pressure to win.
Again, and it just probably, it probably doesn't sound like I'm being real with you, but the more people know, the people that know me will go, yeah, this is a real answer. I don't know if there's pressure at Cedar Crest, and to be honest, I don't care. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm saying that I will put more pressure on myself that I won't even have a chance to take a deep breath and look if there's any pressure on me.
Right.
So there's no doubt in my mind that there's pressure, and it's trust me, I put it on myself. And I don't care if the administration comes to me and says, Rob, we don't care if you don't win for 10 years now. I haven't done that, and I don't expect them to.
Right.
But I'm telling you, from my standpoint, that's like I said to you earlier, I want to win. I want to win every single game. And, I was just a part of, Amber Cleona this year. We were 26-point underdogs to Garden Spot. We were 0-5 going into that game.
Right.
Who gave us a chance? Did you pick us, Coach? Did you pick us, Jeff?
Well, I'm out of the picking business, and that's the way I like it, Coach, just because of what you just said right there. That's a no-win situation for me as far as I'm concerned. But I know what you're saying.
In that game, nobody, right?
Right.
Again, I remember Reinhardt saying that's the upset of the season. How did that happen? Well, here's how it happens. You get kids fired up. You put them in the right position. You teach them that you're going to get an opportunity to make a play, and when you get that chance, you make the play. And we make plays in that game. And I even told them going into the game, here's where our opportunities are going to be. I knew the quarterback was a little bit erratic with the ball. I think we ended up with 2 interceptions in that game, 1 for a touchdown. Their special teams were a little suspect. We got a punt block for a touchdown. That's how you do it. So, and again, that's if you think I'm rolling over for anybody or any team I ever coach is walking in thinking, no, we probably don't have much of a shot. That's just not the way I function. If the Steelers show up tomorrow, I always say, I hope we go out there and say, you know what, I want that guy. I'm taking him on, and that's just my approach.
I think it's a good approach, and I hope it works for you. Hey, Coach, one of the downsides of this whole thing, in my mind, anyways, and I think you're going to agree with me here. You will no longer be an assistant basketball coach at Cedar Crest. I'm pretty sure that you can tell me that that's true or not. But tell me a little bit about the success that you guys had this past basketball season, and how much fun that was, and how much you just enjoyed the heck out of that season.
A lot of fun. I won't be a part of the staff anymore, but I'm still connected to the program. I don't see myself going too far from the program. And I think Coach Smith probably feels the same thing about football. He's not going to be a member of my staff, but I think you'll see him around the program as I'll be around the basketball program. And it's been a great ride. One of the things again, things tend to work out. At least they have for me. With a lot of hard work in between. But when I got to Cedar Crest, they hired me and they said, "Hey, we need a 7th grade basketball coach." And when I took that job, I did it for 2 years. I was a 7th grade basketball coach, and that was the current senior class and the current junior class. So, I've been a big part. Those kids have been a big part of my life, and I think that I've been a big part of their lives as well. And it's been great. Again, it's kind of, and in some ways, even though obviously I'm not the parent, it's kind of feel we spend that much time with kids and great kids because they are great kids. You like seeing them succeed, and it was a lot of fun for a lot of great kids, and that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah. Hey, Coach. Yeah, everybody I talked to about, they said, "Oh, we saw this coming. We knew we could do this." I got to tell you, me personally, I did not see it coming. Hey, more power to you guys. Beginning of the season, kind of what you had done last year, and the history of the program. I mean, I didn't see it coming at all, and I went along for the ride for a little bit of it, but I mean, it wasn't something that I saw coming. But did you see it coming, and what was kind of the key to success for you guys this year?
I think if you'd have told me before the season what would you call success, I think I would have said to you, we need to make a little bit of a run in districts, qualify for state, and I would have considered that a success.
Right.
Maybe there's a district championship again. I wouldn't have seen that coming.
Right.
Be as good as we were in state. I know that we lost in the Sweet 16, but we lost to a team that ended up playing for a state title in overtime. I don't know what.
Hey, Coach, both those games you're talking about, you were in those games too.
Absolutely. I mean, we had them. I mean, but
yeah.
That's sportsman, and again, that's my expectation. I really think that group deserved everything they got and really worked for everything they got. And it's all coming. I don't think anybody, again, I wasn't around to Coach Smith, Coach Custer, myself, Coach Tom, Coach Gresh. I think we did see it coming. And I think next year there's going to be some different pieces. Obviously, we lose some great seniors, but
sure.
I would think there's going to be very similar expectations, at least from the group of coaches and players.
Yep, got a good group coming back. Hey, Coach, listen, thank you so much for your time. I took up enough of it. You've been very gracious. Did we touch on the highlights? Did we touch on everything that you kind of expected to talk about?
Yeah, I think so for the most part. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm excited to be a part of one of the great rivalries in the county, Lebanon and Cedar Crest. I got something as a little kid that I didn't miss too many of those games, and I was on the other side of the bleachers. Don't tell anybody, but I was cheering for Lebanon as my dad was a teacher there. But
oh, right, okay.
But this is gonna be a neat experience for me as a coach, obviously, to be a part of that.
Hey, Coach, I'll leave you with a warm thought here on a kind of a rainy afternoon. The Cedar Bowl is less than 6 months away.
It feels like it's tomorrow. That's the best way I can tell you. It feels like for me. So I'm getting ready, but I don't feel like I'm getting ready fast enough.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Go Falcons.
This portion of Jeff Falk's Sports Talk has been brought to you by Jonestown Dental Associates, 310 North Lancaster Street in Jonestown. Roland Funeral Home, 508 Cumberland Street in Lebanon, 272-6673. And beautiful Iron Valley Golf Course in Cornwall, 279-7409. Or visit them on the web at www.ironvalley.com.